Do you think every big money engine repair starts with some loud bang or the warning light going off on your dashboard? For you all who've had to stare blankly at an engine replacement bill, wondering, what could I have done differently? Well, I'm about to help you out real quick. You see, the whole chain reaction from your perfectly working Hyundai engine to that massive repair bill usually starts with a single component, a part so small you could lose it in your pocket, a part that costs just 25 bucks, less than filling up your tank. And it's been sitting right on top of your engine the whole time, waiting for someone to notice it. And no, you don't need to be a mechanic like me to take care of this component and save your engine. Hey, I'm Dean, your favorite mechanic, and today I'm telling you all about this simple $25 part that's quietly protecting your engine every single time you hop in that driver's seat. I bet you're wondering what this $25 mystery component is. Do you know that Hyundai engines? No, scratch that. Every engine is designed to carefully manage heat, pressure, and lubrication. There has to be a balance between all three. When this balance is maintained, the engine does its job perfectly. It has everything it needs to live a very long life. But this mystery component most Hyundai owners know nothing about is responsible for keeping this balance. This component is called the PCV valve, positive crankcase ventilation. This little device is the unsung hero of engine longevity. It's been on every car sold in America since the early 1960s, and most drivers couldn't pick one out of a lineup if their life depended on it. You see, on Hyundai engines specifically, whether it's the ubiquitous 2.4-liter Theta 2, the 3.3-liter Lambda V6, or the little 1.6-liter Gamma found in the Accent and Elantra, this valve plays an absolutely critical role in keeping your oil clean, your seals intact, and your internal components happy. But to understand why it matters so much, you need to understand what's happening inside your engine every time you drive. Let's pop the hood on the engineering for a minute. The science of blow-by. Why your engine needs ventilation. What do you know about the physics of your engine? Yeah, it moves your car, but what else? Exactly. Here's something very important that most people don't know. Your engine isn't a sealed system. It just can't be. Inside each cylinder, you've got pistons moving up and down inside metal walls. Those pistons have rings around them, usually 3 per piston on a modern Hyundai, that seal against the cylinder walls. The top 2 rings handle compression. The bottom ring scrapes oil off the cylinder walls so it doesn't burn in the combustion chamber. But here's the thing. Those rings aren't perfect seals. They have gaps called ring end gaps that allow for thermal expansion when the engine heats up. Without those gaps, the rings would expand, seize in the cylinders, and destroy the engine within minutes. Those tiny gaps, combined with the immense pressure inside the combustion chamber during the power stroke, allow some combustion gases to sneak past the rings and down into the crankcase. That's what we mechanics call blow-by. We're not talking about a lot of volume. Under normal conditions, blow-by might be less than 1% of the combustion chamber volume. But that 1% is nasty stuff. It contains unburned fuel, water vapor, nitric oxides, sulfur compounds, and partially burned hydrocarbons. Hope you're keeping up, because there's a whole lot to know here. Now, your crankcase is where the oil lives. It's a carefully controlled environment. Oil needs to stay clean and free of contaminants to properly lubricate bearings, camshafts, timing chains, and all those expensive rotating parts. When you start pumping combustion blow-by into that space, bad things happen. The water vapor condenses into actual water when the engine cools down. That water mixes with sulfur compounds and creates acids, sulfuric and carbonic acids. Those acids attack metal surfaces. They eat away at bearings. They corrode internal components. The unburned fuel dilutes your oil, thinning it out and reducing its ability to protect under high load. The partially burned hydrocarbons turn into varnish and sludge that coat everything. In words that you can understand, you're killing your engine every time you take your Hyundai for a spin. In no time, you're staring at a bill that's gonna have tears streaming down your face. And this, guys, is why the PCV system exists. It's not optional. It's an active ventilation system designed to suck that contaminated gas out of the crankcase before it can do damage, and route it back into the intake to be burned cleanly in the combustion chamber. It is that important. How the PCV valve actually works. Let's get specific about what's happening with that little valve. The PCV valve is essentially a spring-loaded check valve with a variable orifice. I'm sorry for throwing those big words together. How about I break it down? The PCV valve is basically a bouncer for your engine, if that makes any sense. Its job is to stand at the door between the crankcase, where the oil lives, and the intake manifold, where air gets sucked into the engine, and control who gets through. Yeah, this might sound easy, but it also means it's got a whole lot to do. On one side, you've got all those nasty blow-by gases building up pressure. On the other side, you've got an engine vacuum, that sucking force your engine creates when it runs. The PCV valve sits in the middle, using that vacuum to suck the bad gases out of the crankcase and feed them back into the engine to be burned off. Think of it like a one-way door with a smart spring. When your engine is idling, vacuum is high and the valve mostly closes down because there's not much blow-by happening. When you step on the gas, vacuum drops, the spring opens the valve wider, and more ventilation happens because you're generating more blow-by under load. The genius part of it all is that it's one way only. Air can flow from the crankcase into the intake, but it can't flow backward. If your engine ever backfires through the intake, and trust me, it happens more than you'd think, that valve slams shut and prevents the flame from traveling down into your oil pan. Because nobody wants an oil pan explosion. Never seen it happen, but I just know it wouldn't look good. There's also a fresh air hose on the other side of the engine. Clean air gets pulled in through the air filter, circulates through the crankcase, picks up the nasty fumes, and then gets sucked out through the PCV valve. It's a constant flow. Fresh air in, contaminated air out. That's literally it. A tiny valve with a spring and a plunger, doing a job that keeps your oil from turning into toxic sludge. There are no sensors monitoring it or an electrical part to it all, really. But that simplicity shouldn't be taken for granted. Lord knows just how many engines I've got to pull apart to wipe toxic sludge off the insides just because the PCV valve decided to call it quits. On Hyundai's Theta 2 engines, which have had their share of recalls and issues over the years, the PCV system is particularly important. These are modern engines with lightweight components, tight tolerances, and variable valve timing. They generate significant blow-by, especially as they accumulate mileage. The PCV system has to work overtime to keep the crankcase clear. This is why I always tell my customers to never go for the Theta 2 engines if you're not ready to get your hands dirty taking care of the PCV valve. Some listen, some don't. Anyway, speaking about the PCV valve in Theta 2 engines, wouldn't you like to know how the PCV valve works in your Hyundai? Well, I got you. How the PCV valve works in your Hyundai. Let's trace the actual flow path on a typical Hyundai 4-cylinder. The PCV valve screws or presses into the valve cover, usually near the intake manifold. A hose connects it to a port on the intake manifold. On the other side of the engine, there's a separate hose connecting the valve cover to the air intake duct before the throttle body. That's the fresh air inlet. Now that we know where everything is, let's complete the flow circuit, shall we? Clean air enters through the intake duct, passes through a small filter, sometimes built into the hose, sometimes a separate unit, and enters the valve cover. That air circulates through the crankcase, picking up blow-by gases. The air or fume mixture then gets pulled through the PCV valve and into the intake manifold, where it enters the combustion chambers and gets burned. It's a continuous loop. Fresh air in, contaminated air goes out. The crankcase stays at a slight vacuum, which actually helps oil seals stay seated and prevents leaks. The PCV valve meters this flow based on engine demand. On Hyundai's gasoline direct injection engines, this entire system is given one additional importance. GDI engines don't spray fuel over the intake valves like port-injected engines do. That means there's no fuel detergents washing over the valves to keep them clean. The PCV system routing oil vapor through the intake can contribute to carbon buildup on valves over time, a known issue on Hyundai GDI engines. But that's a topic for another video. Well, now you should know all the ins and outs of the PCV system. It's time to talk about death by 1,000 cuts. What I mean is, how the PCV valve fails over time. You see, a major advantage of PCV valves is that they don't fail catastrophically overnight. They degrade slowly, which is why most people don't notice until there's already major damage. There are a couple of failure modes, but none is quite as common as contamination. Remember those blow-by gases I mentioned? They contain oil vapor. Over thousands of miles, that oil vapor condenses on the internal surfaces of the PCV valve. It mixes with carbon particles and turns into a sticky varnish. That varnish builds up on the plunger and the bore it rides in. I had a 2013 Hyundai Sonata come into the shop a few years back, 120,000 miles. Owner complained of rough idle and a check engine light for a lean condition. I pulled the PCV valve and it was completely silent, no rattle. Shook it as hard as I could and got nothing. The plunger was cemented in place with black tar-like sludge. It was stuck partially open. That valve can fail in two ways, and both will absolutely ruin your day. If it sticks open, you get a vacuum leak. The engine sucks in too much air through that open valve. The computer gets confused, and the engine starts idling rough, misfiring, and generally acting like it hates whoever is in the driver's seat. Your check engine light will probably come on with a lean code. The opposite of this failure is the valve stuck closed. This is actually a lot more common and somehow even more dangerous because the pressure in your crankcase has nowhere to go, and pressure will always find a way out. It'll start pushing past gaskets and seals. You'll get oil leaks in places you never knew existed. The rear main seal between your engine and transmission is a favorite escape route, and replacing that thing costs serious money because your Hyundai's transmission has to come out. I don't know about other mechanics, but I really don't like taking transmissions out. On Hyundai's 3.3-liter Lambda V6, a stuck-closed PCV valve will often show up first as a rear main seal leak. That's the big seal between the engine and transmission. Replacing it requires dropping the transmission, which is a $3,000 job on its own. All because you didn't want to change a $25 valve. You know what? I've given you a sneak peek. How about I give you the full show? I'm about to connect the dots between a sticky valve and a dead engine. How this $25 component can turn into a $4,000 repair. I want you to visualize the chain reaction because it's important. Start with a stuck-closed PCV valve. No ventilation. Pressure builds in the crankcase. That pressure has to go somewhere, so it pushes against every seal. Valve cover gaskets start weeping. The front crankshaft seal starts leaking. The rear main seal starts leaking. You see spots on the driveway. You ignore them because old cars leak oil, right? Well, no, they shouldn't. But the pressure is also doing something you can't see and ignore on the highway. It's pushing against the piston rings. Remember those ring end gaps? Pressure differential is what keeps the rings sealed against the cylinder walls. When crankcase pressure equals or exceeds combustion pressure in some conditions, the rings can't seal properly. The oil that's still in the pan is getting contaminated with combustion gases. The water vapor condenses, mixes with sulfur, and forms acids. Those acids eat bearing material. The fuel dilution thins the oil. The heat breaks down the remaining additives. In no time, sludge starts forming. It's not instant, it takes its time. But it builds up in the oil passages, in the valve train, in the timing chain tensioners. It restricts flow to the variable valve timing solenoids. The cam phasers start rattling on cold starts. The timing chain stretches from insufficient tensioner pressure. Then one day, the sludge restricts the oil pickup tube screen, or a bearing finally gives up, or a timing chain jumps, and your engine makes that horrible knocking sound that means it's done and it's time to break into your savings. I had a customer with a 2016 Hyundai Elantra. Young kid, first car, sadly didn't know anything about maintenance. His PCV valve had been stuck closed for who knows how long. The engine was leaking from everywhere. He kept adding oil when the light came on, but he never fixed the leaks. Then one day, the engine seized on the highway, locked up solid. We pulled the valve cover and found the valve train packed with sludge that looked like chocolate pudding. The oil pan had a 1/4 inch of hard carbon sludge coating the bottom. The oil pickup was completely blocked. I felt bad for him, but yeah, he learned a very expensive lesson that day. New engine installed was like $4,300. A PCV valve is like $12 on that car. The labor to change it, maybe 10 minutes. Fortunately for you guys, you aren't completely helpless. Yes, there are a couple of maintenance tips for you. Get your pen and pad out. I call these Dean's PCV valve maintenance tips. Here's the thing. Hyundai actually has service intervals for PCV valves in their maintenance schedules. Most owners never see them because they're buried in the back of the owner's manual that lives in the glove box untouched. For most Hyundai engines, the recommended replacement interval is every 30,000 to 60,000 miles. The 2.4-liter Theta 2, 30,000 miles if you want to be safe. The 3.8-liter Lambda in the Genesis and larger sedans, same deal. It's cheap insurance. But here's what the manual won't tell you. You should check it more often if you do a lot of short trips. Short trips are brutal on PCV systems because the engine never fully warms up long enough to burn off condensation. That water accumulates, mixes with blow-by, and creates sludge faster. If your commute is 5 miles each way, change your PCV valve every other oil change. Seriously, you have to do it that regularly. It will cost you nothing. It will definitely cost a lot less than an engine repair. Then, have you heard of the rattle test? Well, when you locate the valve and pull it out, give it a little shake next to your ear. You're supposed to hear a distinct clicking from the plunger moving inside. No click means it's stuck. That means it's bad. And that means you have to replace it immediately. But here's a pro tip. Even if it rattles, look at it. Look at the orifice where the plunger moves. If you see black buildup, if there's any sticky residue, replace it. By the time you can see contamination, the valve's calibration is already off. It's not metering flow correctly anymore. On Hyundai's direct injection engines, consider stepping up to an OEM valve even if it costs more. Hey, it's just a few extra bucks, but it's definitely worth it. I've seen aftermarket valves with slightly different spring tensions cause idle issues on GDI engines. The computer is finicky about air metering on these cars. Spend the extra $8. Also, check the hose. PCV hoses get hard and brittle over time. They crack at the connections. A cracked hose creates a vacuum leak just like a stuck-open valve would. Squeeze the hose. If it feels rock hard or you see cracks, replace it. It's usually another $10 to $15. Do all of these, and you should be able to spot any problems with the PCV system before it takes the rest of your engine down with it. The Hyundai-specific quirks you should know. You know, as a bonus, I'll be throwing a couple specific quirks about certain Hyundai engines because they're not all the same. The 2.4-liter Theta 2 is probably the most common Hyundai engine on the road. It's in the Sonata, Optima, Santa Fe, and a dozen other models. The PCV valve on this engine is located on the front of the valve cover, driver's side, right next to the oil fill cap. It's pretty easy to reach, takes 2 minutes. But there's a little catch. These engines are known for oil consumption issues as they age. A functioning PCV system is critical to preventing that consumption from turning into major sludge buildup. If you own a Theta 2, change this valve religiously. The 3.3 and 3.8 Lambda FIV6 engines put the PCV valve on the passenger side valve cover toward the front. Also accessible, but you might need to get your hands a bit dirty, moving some wiring harness brackets. These engines are generally robust, but they run hot. Heat accelerates PCV valve failure. Stick to the 30,000-mile interval on these. Now, the 1.6-liter Gamma engine in the Accent, Elantra, and Veloster, well, that's a totally different story. The PCV valve is buried under the intake manifold. You basically have to remove the manifold to get to it. That's a 2-hour job minimum. I'm not sure you'd want to do this yourself, so bring it into the shop when you can. On these cars, extend the interval to 60,000 miles because you don't want to do it often. But when you do it, replace the intake manifold gaskets too. They're also cheap and you're already in there. I had a Veloster owner come in once, insisted on doing his own PCV valve because he saw the price online. He didn't watch a video first. 3 hours later, he was back at my shop with a box of parts asking for help. The intake manifold was off, but he'd broken a vacuum line and lost a bolt in the engine bay. I helped him finish it, charged him an hour of labor, and sent him on his way. He learned 2 lessons that day. Watch a video first, and sometimes paying a mechanic is worth it. With all this at the back of your mind always, your pocket and your engine are good. Nevertheless, here's my challenge to you. Go find your Hyundai right now. Pop the hood. Locate the PCV valve. If it's accessible, pull it. Shake it. Look at it. Do what's necessary to keep your engine. I've seen too many people lose vehicles they loved because they ignored the little things. The little things become big things fast. A neglected PCV valve doesn't fail quietly. It takes your engine with it.